And we are live with our second episode of Open Hearts after our thrilling and very interesting episode of Graffitied Hearts, episode 2, Downbeat. And I thought of the name of that episode like probably an hour before we started, and I was like, oh, we got the music and then this beat down that's happening right at the beginning. It works. I'm calling it Downbeat. Yes. Yeah, I can be clever. Anyway, so
don't you know
Yes,
just how
you can.
fitting that would end up being?
Little did you know, I would turn into my darkest self.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So please, what were your thoughts?
Oh my God.
What's going on in those beautiful brains of yours and hearts?
The werewolf, the volatile werewolf on the full moon, was not the one to turn into their darkest self tonight.
That is very true. That is very true. Nope, we had the queen go full Maleficent.
Yep. Fuck around with me.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
That's literally like Val's MO, though, is fuck around, find out.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
I feel like at some point, I don't know. I hate being at odds with other people in parties. So my brain is like, no, be nice, and I'm like, no, because Rosalind's just like in my head being like, no, be a bitch.
That's not this game.
That is a natural inclination that a lot of us have, is to be empathetic and to apologize and make amends and stuff like that. But that runs so counter to everything that Monster Hearts is. Go ahead, Alice.
It absolutely does. Although I would counter, the mortal skin is literally about being the victim. Like, that's kind of the whole thing. And the reason they give away so many strings to their lover at the beginning is there really is this power in being like a victim, essentially. And all the moves are really shaped around that. I'm very excited to use one of my moves I haven't gotten to yet, but it really falls under that. And so I think because everyone just is completely feral in this campaign, it's so juxtaposed in such a really beautiful storytelling way that adds to the story being so feral that Alice is just, at least for the beginning, gonna forgive everyone that hurts her and just empathize with everyone and be super nice. Until she potentially turns into her darkest self, and then it'll change. And I'm just fascinated to see where that goes, especially because, the story is just absolutely feral, and everyone is using each other and being absolutely insane to each other. And I'm very excited to throw Alice in more next week with the other characters, because I think there's no way that can be avoided.
Not now, anyway. Not with Val playing this agent of chaos and getting up in people's faces and Rosalind's reaction to all of this, now connecting, with Robin and Reese. It's the web is forming, and I'm loving it.
Speaking about using some of your skin moves, I got to use so many promises this session. It is great. I cannot wait to, and I not only that, I managed to get a promise off on Reese. I also got to use that promise against him. I'm just a part of me was just ooh, I really hope I'm able to coerce him to punch Mason. I'm just but if he says no, I get some revenge, and that's even spicier. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this all continues to shape up, especially now that Reese has newfound power within the within Ursa Major, and proximity to power is power. That's like, Robin absolutely respects everything that Rosalind is about. And I looked on some on what we get when we end up leveling up and everything, and she's absolutely going to be taking some pages out of Rosalind's book. I am totally planning on getting the click move from the witch, based on the fact that like Robin just has profound respect of everything that Rosalind has goes on.
From the witch or the queen?
Oh, my apologies. From the queen. I misspoke.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that
literally
would be
have
an
it
interesting
here.
combination, though. Like,
Yeah.
maybe taking some witch moves, maybe have some hexes and
Ooh,
such.
that would be
Oh,
spicy.
yeah. That could definitely lend to being really interesting, almost revenge type fae reaction.
Who knows? We'll see how this develops.
Absolutely. And I too am really looking forward to seeing how things develop with Alice. I really liked that just snapshot of Alice's home life and the promise of the threat and danger that's going to come at the hands of people who normally should be caring and supportive and loving. What kind of escape does that give Alice? And it doesn't. Instead, she has to find other escapes. And,
yeah. It'll also be interesting to explore just how many people know. Like, her neighbor knows, and then Rosalind knows, Val knows. I didn't know that Reese knew.
I heard you guys at the carnival.
Okay.
Yep, he was right outside the tent.
I
Perfect.
wouldn't have picked up on that, and as a player, I forgot. But I also know that Reese has been watching Alice, and I have no idea for how long or where. So I don't know. It'll just be. I am trying not to metagame, but I want
sure.
to contrive. I just need Alice and Reese to interact one-on-one.
Soon.
And I don't know how to make it happen naturally.
Well, and it'll be interesting because Reese and Rosalind are at odds in a very specific and interesting way.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I'm excited. It's gonna be bad, but it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait for that. I think it's inevitable, honestly. I don't think we have to contrive it. I think that in some way, Reese and Alice are going to end up interacting. And you have Reese's dominant, aggressive, violent way of doing things, and then you have Alice, who so far has come off as timid and withdrawn, passive, and it'll be interesting to see what those two forces are like when they interact,
or if it brings out a different side of Reese.
Ooh,
interesting. Maybe there's lots of possibilities, like protectiveness, or could be somehow tamp down the fires of that aggression. Who knows? I think
Things to see.
Yeah, lots of opportunities. To Rosalind, what did you like? What was your thinking around the young woman exiting the club and realizing that it was Gracie?
The moment I realized it, I realized it the instant that you said that I heard music in the background. That was the second that I was like, oh, no! No! And I was like, oh, god damn it. And so I was pissed off at that front. And then it got worse when Val showed up. And I was like, please God, no. Please God, no. Don't fuck with my sister. Don't fuck with my sister. I am driving so fast. I should be getting pulled over. Please. I'm just like racing there. And my poor sister's traumatized in a car. Whenever we hop back in, poor thing's gonna see me like she's never seen me before. And
I have a question then. Has Rosalind just been trying to keep like this darker self a secret from Gracie, like trying to protect her from all of this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely she has. She when their mom left, she had to become the mom. And so everything that a mom would usually do for their child, she's done for Gracie. And she loves her to death. She is a fuck up, but she loves her to death. And that's why she says she loves her stupid. Like, it's a stupid thing, but she absolutely adores her to death. And she hides everything from her because she's terrified that she's going to get pulled into this life of anger and control or lack of control. And the fact that she slept with Mason is just like, shit, I can't protect her anymore. So it's going to be a whole, like, she's growing up. I have to deal with that on top of the fact that people are finding out about me and my girlfriend, which is okay, but like at the same time, not okay because her parents, but everyone knows about her parents, so why would they shut the fuck up? It's like she doesn't understand. Her big thing is she doesn't understand why people are being like why people are just saying all of these things and like spreading it when they know her parents. Like, why would someone do that? And so the fact that Reese was like, you trying to make things worse? I was like, are you trying to make things worse? Shut your fucking mouth. I am not trying to spread this around. The fact that Val is here, like, you're clearly messing with her. You know. You've been stalking us. You know. And so it's not anything new. And then Mason shows up and it's like, well, fuck. And now I have to shut him up. And then it switches in her brain.
That's what happens when you're the queen. You show weakness, and now everyone that you've ever slighted is just like, oh, well, time to ruin your life, and by ruining your life, poor Alice is caught in the crossfire.
It's gonna be so interesting when these confrontations happen. I'm interested for whenever Alice and Robin's paths may cross. That's an exciting pairing. I'm excited to see. And then, of course, the confrontation that is going to happen between Alice and Val.
Oh my god.
It's just going to be insane. But I'm really interested in how to play this character and how Alice is going to react with her forgiving, it's fine, playing the victim, and then I don't know what's going to push her over the edge. And all of these people that now know, I don't know. I'm really excited to see what happens. It's going to be insane. I'm very excited.
It's a lot of different types of manipulation.
Yeah.
Like, you have Val doing, psychological horror. Just full on. Like, poor Alice is literally just in the middle of really, even just the four of us, and then of course her parents, who are controlling in four very different ways, some of which that she hasn't even interacted with yet.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of why I love the mortal skin so much, because it's also like very different from who I am as a person, and so it's really interesting to play this character that is it almost to me goes against everything that Monster Hearts is supposed to be, because it is most of the time this like passive character, or just this, not even passive, just forgiving. And you're really not supposed to do that, and so it's.
But you also become this kind of ignition point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the mortal's darkest self is fascinating, because it's like you get pushed to a point that I'm done. No one understands me. And you start betraying everyone. So it'll be interesting to see if Alice gets to that point in this campaign and what happens.
I'm not just interested in when she gets to that point, but like who's the one that pushes her beyond the
a lot of options. A lot of options.
I just want to give like mad props to Cal for like that absolute promo, because we've all like just kind of like insinuating that Mason slept with Gracie, but like you had Reese come out and flatly say, "Oh wow, you don't even know who slept with your sister? That's fucking hilarious!" Like, mad props.
The change in my face.
It was amazing.
I was like, what?
It was awesome. No, and that was a lot of the, like, because Reese is, like, quieter, more stoic, but fucking alcohol. Like, you're fucking fairy alcohol, what have you. It's like, no, this, like, and also kind of Val's, not only, like, Val's influence, but Robin's influence. And then just that natural, more volatile nature where it's kind of like, yeah, poke the bear. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah.
I don't think Reese likes Rosalind at all.
It was just
No, I think that's
Okay.
part of why he's been watching her and watching Alice to make sure that like all these other things, like I am a threat in all right.
yeah.
It's threat is specific though, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that maybe that's the possible avenue of a explanation as far as like why Reese has been kind of stalking Alice, and when they finally interact, it'll be interesting to get answers on why Reese has been stalking Alice, and what the feelings are there specifically. And now that we know that there's a contention between Rosalind and Reese, you know, how is Alice going to get caught up in the middle of that?
Like, Abby, I know you said like the immortal is like so antithetical to everything that Monster Hearts is about, but like you can't have Twilight without Bella. Like,
You can't.
You can't have Teen Wolf without. You can't have Teen Wolf without Styles. Like there's always the one who's dragged into it.
I love Twilight. I really do. And I hope Alice is infinitely more interested
Oh,
in this.
absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
absolutely more interesting than Bella.
No,
And again,
no
we
long
like Twilight.
like
Okay.
stairs, just
And then I think also Alice
Yeah.
will get
no. Alice already is
more as
100
it
times better.
continues.
yeah.
So that'll be nice and helpful. Because I mean, already I feel like I almost liked that she didn't have a lot happening today. Like 2 scenes, but I don't know. They set up a lot of things, and then I just kind of got to watch all of the shit that she's going to be pulled into.
Yeah.
Probably next week. Like, I don't think it's avoidable. So yeah.
Your
Hey,
girlfriend's angry.
I mean, even though you weren't in a lot of things, you are kind of the central point.
Which was
Yeah.
so interesting to see. I didn't realize how. Oh, it was so cool hearing what Val was talking about with everything. Just Val thinks they're the monster and is waiting for the hero. I was like, that's so cool. And then just the compulsion that they have to do this to Alice. Is so interesting to me, and I'm so excited to see, as a player, I'm so excited to see what happens and just how that continues. I was freaking out when you were talking and saying that stuff. I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
I
Like,
had
you-
some clever thing I was gonna say at the very end, right when you were like, "Is that something a hero would say?" And I was gonna be like, I had a whole thing, and then you were like, "Yeah, Reese, is that a thing?" And then like it devolved, and I was like, "Shit, I was gonna say something so fucking cool." And then you said, "God," and I was like, "Wow, fuck."
That's just like how Val is. Like Val will get like these super serious tones, and it just falls into these like dark moments, and then all of a sudden Val is just like, oh yeah, ice cream.
Just dark comedy, and you can like correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it just feels like Val is just very aware that they are on borrowed time. They shouldn't be here, but they are, and so they are fully aware that eventually someone's gonna come around and like put an end to me, and that's just inevitable. But like, is that the case?
It's close.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know that in another Monster Heart story that I told with an awesome cast. Well, they were awesome at the end there. Like to begin with, because tangentially it comes back to that they were way too nice to each other in the beginning. They always forgave each other. They never had any conflict, so it was.
We don't have that problem.
It ain't us. It ain't us.
Yeah. But in the end, like the last few sessions and stuff, it really ramped up and something amazing happened, and I've been obsessing about it for like a week and a half now.
I still need to read that thing you sent me.
Yes.
You were such a
thing? But in that story, I had a reason, a kind of a MacGuffin of why two of the characters existed. One was a ghoul and one was a hollow, essentially a toy come to life. And way in the beginning, I wanted to have a reason why they both were the way they were. And that became the underpinning arc that took off at the end. So I am really interested to see where we go in terms of Val's reanimation and what's behind that. Will we find out anytime soon? I don't know. But I'm excited to see the rest of that story.
Me too. I have no idea where it's going.
And I think that goes back to the 4 commitments that I had you guys agree to at the beginning of this, that Monster Hearts calls for, and that is keeping the story feral. Don't try to domesticate it and plan everything out. It's all by the seat of our pants.
Val lives by that motto and embodies it more than any of us, I feel. Just
fucking going for it, man.
Yeah. And I think that it's proven too with Val, with the audience's reaction. Like specifically, my boyfriend watches these, and he'll text me during the stream and like comment on what's going on. And just anytime Val does anything, he's just like, "What the fuck?" So absolutely, Val is like hitting those commitments. Being feral 1,000%, and it's reading so well. Everything is reading super well. But since we're on the topic of Val, just wanted to say that I have confirmation that it is reading very, very well with our audience, which is really exciting.
I think it's interesting that we're all kind of interpreting it differently too. Like you have Val balls to the wall, like the most chaos thing you've ever seen, where it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Who knows? You're gonna chop a hand off? Gonna chop your head off? Who the fuck knows? I mean, like, Robin manipulation, Rosalind just, like, outright control, Reese violence. Like, everyone's taking, be feral in such wildly different ways.
And then you have Alice the victim, which I feel like is its own brand of feral.
Oh, yeah.
I love it for all of us.
As Alice's, like, actor the fact that like this session especially, you got to like sit back and watch all the drama unfold. You have absolute control over, okay, who do I put Alice in front of?
Yeah.
Train gets to try to run her over today.
Yeah, which is like, it's hard to, I really try to be careful about like metagaming. So it'll be interesting to see what choices I have to make as a player to, keep the story moving, but then also what things just happen naturally with the story, and who confronts her, who she confronts first. It's kind of, I feel privileged to be able to have sat back and watched so much, which is really funny. I have really severe ADHD, so usually when I'm just sitting and watching something, I'm like doodling or doing other things, and I was very engaged. I was taking notes so I didn't forget anything, but I was super engaged, and it felt really special to be able to take a back seat but still be a part of it, and then watch also what other people were saying about Alice and how Alice affects pretty much everyone else except for Robin right now.
Oh, don't worry. Like, this a bit of information that you are dating Robin.
Yeah, Robin would have overheard that. I was making a list of who all knows. I'll have to add Robin.
Fucking everybody now.
Yeah, the news. Like, it's official. Everyone here actually knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's not on the news. There was just a picture of us like curling into each other, which I think I have an excuse.
Four all know, and it was also revealed before Mason came. So technically, Reese only revealed it to these folks, which it is, it kind of the sign of trust for Reese to Val, and in a weird way, Reese to Robin.
Which is really interesting because Robin and Alice don't really know each other.
Yeah, no. In Robin's eyes, Alice is absolutely a way to dethrone, like Rosalind. And Robin has been looking for. Got into she started to attend Crystal Falls High because she comes from the Feywild, where relationships is the magic. And the only person that she's encountered who understands that power is Rosalind. But she's just okay, so where's the chink in your armor? Where's the little part that I can stab?
And Robin found it.
Mm-hmm. And Reese gave it to you.
Thank you. Thank you for this present.
This is gonna be insane. I'm so excited. I'm angry that it's over and I have to wait a week.
Honestly, I have two ideas in my head floating around right now, and I want to tell you, but I can't. And it's just,
with me, I don't have ideas. I just know, I didn't know where I want Val here, but I know who I'm putting Val in front of for next week.
Makes sense.
The only thing I try to know is Reese's standing with other people, like his view of other people, or how other people view him. That's as far as it's not even metagame. It's more of where am I emotionally, relationship wise with all of you? And I know exactly where that is for everyone, in particular, Rosalind and Alice.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny because we haven't talked.
I'm just happy that I was fucking able to pin you against a wall because it's on a full moon, and I was like, if I can do this, I'm gonna be so happy.
That was incredible.
He did not. Reese is a very violent person, and Reese did not lash out at Rosalind. You'll notice that.
Ooh. That must have taken a lot of restraint.
He did not.
Or just being drunk,
Bit of both. Bit of both.
Bit of both.
It was definitely, I think, full honesty, I think a bit of it was almost like a novelty factor of this is new.
I've been overpowered.
Let's play
that
with
is
this.
Weird.
How the fuck? Who the
All
fuck?
Right, well, that is going to conclude our time for tonight's Open Hearts. I am so excited to see where the story goes next week. And it seems like you all are on that same journey. So I'm glad that we can all take it together. This is already, we're only 2 sessions in. This is such a pleasure to storytell with all of you. So thank you all so much. Oh, don't cry yet. No. I mean, yes, cry, because those are awesome cathartic moments. But anyway, thank you all so very much. Please have a wonderful night, a great weekend, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night.